Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. I'm Dakota Ehrman, joined by Evan Pasoko, and we're getting set for another round of racing here with the Real Sim Racing Series, the Full Throttle Cup Series. But Evan Pasoko joining me up here in the broadcast booth. One of the first times he's been up here with me and Evan. Glad to have you along for the ride. George Wood going to be kind of hanging around with us. John Wesley and J.D. Webb up in the production studios. But Evan, man, getting set. I know last week we had the All-Star race, but we're getting set for another week of racing here at Charlotte. Going to be two in a row for the Real Sim Racing group.
That's right. A little bit of practice for these guys last week in their All-Star race that was not covered on ETV Live. So that was a little bit of a warm-up, but this race over 110 laps longer than that one. 1.5-mile track, 160 laps should be a good long night of racing.
That it should, but how about we go back to Darlington Raceway? That was 2 weeks ago. That's the last official points race we had. It was Stefan Marinak actually coming home with the win after starting from the 5th position. Led 48 total laps. Eric Arnold came home second after leading 2 laps, starting 16th. Brennan Mercer was able to bring it home third with Jimmy North 4th. Joey Katina came home in the 5th position. And I believe the rest was 6th through 10th with Evan Pasoko.
And that's right, Nathan Little took home the 6th position, followed by Adam Roberts, who finished 7th. CJ LeVere finished in 8th place. Glenn Campbell took home the 9th place, and Ronnie Potts rounded up your top 10.
And now we move on to the point standings. Currently, with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, Dwayne Vincent leads the way by 41 points over Chad Cole. Cole had a very bad day, we'll just say, at Darlington. He actually was wrecked out of, it seemed like, 2nd place twice before his car was actually totaled and he had to park it for the day. CJ LeVere currently sitting 3rd, 71 out. Guy Snyder, the 4th, sitting in 4th in points, 81 out, 10 points behind CJ LeVere. And Ronnie Potts rounding out the top 5, 94 points back.
In 6th place is John Abbott. He's 105 away from your leader, Dwayne Vincent. Right behind him, 7th place, Steve Ritter, 121 away. Then Rich Jett, 8th place in the points, 129 points behind the leader, followed by Doug Roth in 9th. He is 135 off him. They have a tie for 10th place. Glenn Campbell and Justin Wilson, they are both 140 points off of your leader, Dwayne Vincent.
All right, now before we talk about the track facts and comers and goers here tonight, I want to talk a little bit about the All-Star race last week that took place. 13 drivers total last week that were in competition. Only 7 finished on the lead lap at the end of the race. The winner of the All-Star race was actually CJ LeVere. Jose Gonzalez came home 2nd with Matt Lacrosse 3rd. So look for those 3 to probably be strong here tonight, Evan.
That's right, and that was a 50-lap race. This is 160, so definitely not the same atmosphere. And as you mentioned, only 13 cars were in this race. I'm looking right now. We have about 36 drivers that practice so far. So definitely a much larger field, but any practice that you can get on a track like this, get that zone, tuning your setups will definitely give them advantage.
It definitely, and talking about Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's located in North Carolina. It seats 140,000 people, owned by Speedway Motorsports Incorporated. It was actually broke ground in 1959, opened in 1960. Architect was Bruton Smith and Curtis Turner. Former name, Charlotte Motor Speedway, 1960 to 1998, 2010 to present. It's also Lowe's Motor Speedway. It was known quite a bit. Asphalt is going to be the surface here tonight, 1.5 miles in length, 4 turns, 24 degrees of banking in the turns, and 5 degrees of banking in the straightaways.
And one thing unique to this track, somewhat different than maybe your common 1.5-mile racetrack, is the quad oval here. It's not a tri-oval, it's a quad oval. It has very sudden left-hand turns, making a quad shape as opposed to the smooth curve through the tri-oval. So watch for things to get real tight there if you're side-by-side with someone. That could be interesting.
Definitely, we saw a lot of interesting racing and stuff going on here at Charlotte in the past week that we've been here. And I think we were here last Thursday with the Asphalt Assault Series. We saw quite a bit of action take place, and I can't wait to get back on track with some more here. Now we move to the comers here, brought to you by the Professor, George Wood. Eric Arnold jumped 6 spots in the point standings, is now 22nd. Adam Roberts has 2 top 10s, and Eric Arnold has 2 top 5s in the last 2 races. Brennan Mercer has not missed a top 10 in his 3 starts. And those will be the comers here, Evan. And Goers here tonight. It's going to be what has happened to Eric Brundys. He lost 5 more spots in the points. It's now 14th. Mike Montesi and Steve Gottschalk have had season low finishes the last 2 and 3 weeks. Justin Wilson has missed the top 20 lately and is sliding back to 11th in the point standings. Professor's picks, I'm afraid to pick anyone. I'll jinx them again like I always do. So George Wood being very conservative here.
That's right, and it's definitely going to be a survival of the fittest at these 1.5-mile tracks. Lots of grip, but it's easy to get carried away. You got to let off the throttle when you enter these corners, and you have to stay off them for about 2 to 3 seconds before you roll back in. And if you're chasing somebody, it's real easy to jump the gun, get in the throttle, and push up the racetrack, spin yourself out. And I'm looking back at the results last week from Darlington, actually. Stephen Marinac, who won that race, he was the driver. He got 2 incidents all race, and he was the only driver to only get 2 incidents. Eric Arnold second got 12, Brandon Mercer got 14. So it seems that in these Gen 6 cars, you got to keep your car clean if you want to be there at the end.
When we come here for the Full Throttle Cup Series with Real Sim Racing, it's sponsored by Balboa Racing and the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat, which is given out at the end of the season. A simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable in the cockpit. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand and shifter mount sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, a high quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it at BobEarlRacing.com. And he is why we are all here today.
And that's right, and great sponsorships to get this league going. And this is a long season that we have here. I believe it's 36 races. And if you look at the schedule, today's race, we're about a third of the way through the season, and I do believe there is no chase. So it's definitely an interesting format. You can't just worry about getting a top 10. You have to be going for it every week, trying to get consistent point days, and you can definitely help yourself out as we're starting to get later in the season. So now we're starting to see the points stand out here, where you're going to be, and drivers are going to have to know where they're going to improve at this point in the season.
Actually is a chase here with the Monday night series, the Full Throttle Cup Series. There is no chase with the Asphalt Assault Series on Thursday night, so it's just what's making that series very interesting. But when you talk about Monday nights, the chase coming in, people that want to make it in, especially with those 2 wild card spots, they've got to have the most wins and be in the top 20 in points, so people will be shooting for those. But when we look back at practice here earlier tonight, Dwayne Vincent, Chad Cole swept the top 2 spots into the top 2 in points. We look at qualifying, Dwayne Vincent currently sitting down about 7th, and Chad Cole back down to 10th. So those 2 kind of struggle when it came to qualifying, and hopefully they get back up there in the race, and I have no doubt in my mind that they had very unique weeks at Darlington where they both found a lot of trouble and damaged their race cars.
And that's right, and definitely not the lap that Dwayne Vincent wanted to put down. And as I was watching, through the practice, Dwayne Vincent, Chad Cole, CJ Lavera, 1, 2, and 4, those are your 3-point leaders. So Ben Burnett in the 37, it was looking like this track was going to favor the points, but Ben Burnett had a great run there in practice, and he's currently qualified on the pole, so keep an eye out for him tonight.
With just a little over a minute left in practice here, we're going to go ahead and go down trackside for the national anthem, sung by the Cactus Cuties.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
And now we go down trackside for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And now, starting on the pole, is going to be the 37 machine. That's Ben Burnett. On his outside, Stefan Marinak. They make up row number 1.
Row number 2 will be the number 23 of Sam Edwards, qualifying in the 3rd position, and to his right, the number 16 of Steve Ritter.
CJ Lavera will roll off in the 5th position, with Cale Dresbach rolling off 6th.
Row 4 will be the number 13, Dwayne Vincent on the inside, and qualifying 8th to his outside, the number 7 of John Higman Jr.
Brian Harvey will roll off 9th in his 67 machine. On his outside, in 10th, the 8 of Chad Cole.
11th and starting on the inside of row number 6, Joey Gattina in his number 14 machine, and right next to him, the number 18 of Terry Lane.
Row number 7 is going to consist of the 91 of Steve Gottschalk and the 38 of Mark Bratcher.
Row 8 will see the number 5 of John Hanna Jr. starting on the inside in 15th position, and right next to him, the number 26, Jose Gonzalez.
Row number 9 is going to see the 20 of Mike Montesi and the 29 of Brennan Mercer.
Row 10 will be the number 43 of Doug Roth, and right next to him on the high side in position 20, the 47 of Eric Arnold.
About Justin Wilson rolling off in the 21st position with Nick Silver in the 30 car rolling off 22nd. They make up row number 11.
Row number 12 on the inside, the number 84 of Jimmy North, and starting 24th, the 88 of Adam Roberts.
Glenn Campbell rolls off 25th with Chris Cable 26th.
Rolling off 27th will be Bobby Wetzel, and 28th, Guy Snyder the 4th.
Rich Jett rolls off 29th with Matt Lacrosse rolling off 30th.
Mike King will start this race 31st on the inside, and to his right, the number 81 of Stephen Almindo.
Joseph Hayes going to roll off 33rd with Rhett McBride in 34th.
Jeff Eden will be starting 35th, and starting 36th will be Doug Fleming.
Josh Channing going to roll off 37th with Douglas Wyatt rolling off 38th.
Rolling off 39th, the number 40 of Matt Hoffman, and right next to him, the number 65 of Ed Williams Jr.
Frank Coons rounds out the field, starting in the 41st position in his 48 machine. He'll be the last car on the grid, and he'll be on the inside lane. Now here we get set for 160 laps of racing here. Pace car working off of turn number 4, getting set to dive. Ben Burnett about to take the green flag. We watch for the pace car to dive here, and we'll watch here. This could set the tone for how restarts are done tonight. Whether it'll be slow or just gone, and he's away. Ben Burnett is away. Green flag flies, and we're side by side through the pack.
And there are a whole bunch of drivers here, and it's going to be interesting to see how they sort things out. As that number 37 machine, Ben Burnett, is pulled away and battling now on the inside of the 24 machine. The number 23 is right behind him.
Yeah, there they are. This 4 car was just inside of the 16. He pulls out. That was for the 4th position, I do believe. Or 5th position, actually. Excuse me there. And it looks like LeVere falls back that spot. Here comes Vincent. He's up from 7th to, it appears to be 6th. And he's to the bumper of what looks like LeVere.
And it's interesting to see the different lines that these drivers are taking. You see the 13, Dwayne Vincent, runs right down on that white line. However, right behind him, number 45 of Dresbach, a little bit more up off that line, so everyone's going to be sorting out their lines, but Dwayne Vincent indeed up to that 6th position, and he's knocking on the door of the bumper of the number 4 as they work off turn number 4, takes a peek to the inside as they work their way to the quad over.
Chad Cole back there in just about 9th position was looking underneath the car in front of him, couldn't quite get there. As you see, looks like Vincent will clear LeVere. He slides up the track, he's alright though, gets back down to the bottom.
The 4 machine got stuck on the high side, and then Dwayne Vincent drove it in there. He had to check up a bit, which almost caused an incident there. They were able to hold on to it, but now the number 4, CJ LeVere, he is stuck on the high side of the racetrack as John Higman Jr. and the 97 and the 8 of Chad Cole now work their way to pass him on the bottom as they cross the stripe to take lap 4.
Yeah, LeVere just got kind of stuck on the outside lane, cannot get down. You see him, he's going to go back to another spot because there's another car looking underneath him now. He falls back. That's Brian Harvey in the 67. So Harvey falls back in line, lets LeVere in, and LeVere picks up right behind Chad Cole. Meanwhile, just a few spots back, looking just about 14th position, maybe 15th here. It was Terry Lane. He was 13th, and he's not anymore in his 18 machine.
And that's right. It seems like we've all single filed out now. At least the top 10 drivers. There's a little bit of a battle between the 91 of Steve Gottschalk. Brendan Mercer is going to pass him on the bottom. That's the only real 2 wide. From there up on 15th through 1st, they've single filed out, and they're going to start running their line, trying to get in a groove here for this fairly decently length race here.
Meanwhile, up front, you know, you talked about a decently long race here, 160 laps. We're just about nearly 6 minutes in, I would say, since we got rolling, or probably just about 5. But working lap 6, and we have a 5-car group up front. You're looking at Dwayne Vincent sitting in the 5th position. He's the last of those 5 cars. Then there's a few car lengths back to the next group of cars. Everybody seems to be pretty close to each other. No one's really getting away, especially up front with Ben Burnett. He has a lot of company behind him.
That's right, he is a mirror full of the number 23 of Sam Edwards. As now the 16 car, Steve Ritter's going to go down low on the number 23, looking for second place. That's going to help the 37 out as they battle. Looks like the 16 edging out the 23. 23 might get a little bit of a run here off turn 2, and they're going to be side by side as they work their way down the back straightaway.
And that is Ritter, I do believe, looking underneath Edwards. Edwards not really going to give up the spot there, so Ritter still going to stick to the inside, but Edwards, I mean, he's hanging on strong to the outside. As he wiggles, he's going to maybe lose a lot of time. Yeah, a lot of time here, because here comes Ritter, the 13 of Vincent, and also it looks like Marinak's going to come as well, and he was, you know, scored second. He's now going to fall back to just around 5th position, with Kel Dresbeck coming pretty quickly behind him, as well as Chad Cole.
And he did a good job of keeping that race car off the wall, got real close to it as they came by the start-finish line. He's going to pull back in line now, but Dwayne Vincent, your points leader, qualified 7th. He's made a little bit of a jump back up to 14th position, now right in front of Stefan Marinak, and he's going to look to go for the Steve Ritter of his number 16 car for second place.
38 of Mark Bratcher, and I do believe the 26 of Jose Gonzalez just made some kind of contact that resulted in them becoming separate. I do believe it was those two. I don't exactly know what happened, but those two almost nearly took each other out. It looked like going down the front stretch.
It was the number 38 of Mark Bratcher, I do believe, got into the 14 of Joey Gattina as they crossed the stripe there at about 12th position. And 14 just got a little bit sideways. They managed to keep it through, and they are still going as now 38 being challenged by the 26 of Jose Gonzalez now for that 11th position as they work their way down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I got to talk to Jose Gonzalez before the race too, and he actually said he was going out and wanted to win the race. I think he was a runner-up, wasn't it, last week in the All-Star race. He knows how to get it done at Charlotte, but he's kind of struggling here. As a slow car on the inside, Chad Cole's slowing up. Somebody's around, big wreck on the outside. Dwayne Vincent is involved, and there's Jose Gonzalez involved.
And that all started off turn 4, I believe. I caught that at the side of my eye. Steve Ritter in the number 16 machine went slightly up into the number 37 of Ben Burnett as they worked their way off the corner, and Dwayne Vincent plowed into the back of that number 16 car. Stefan Marinak right behind him went sliding through the inside. 15 machine came in, caught the 20, or 45 came in, caught the 23, and just piled them up on the front straightaway.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, the point leader has left the race already. That's something you don't want to see. He's going to lose quite a bit of points. Jack Cole had to go through the grass. He's second place in points. I mean, there was a lot of cars in the grass. That was a lot of mayhem, a big wreck right there.
And that was not on a straightaway. It was not a smooth turn. Once those cars were wrecking, these drivers can't just swerve left, go through the grass, because they'll spin out too, and that's what we saw with the 24 of Stefan Marinak there. And there was really nowhere for many of the cars to go. Everybody was trying to swerve to avoid the slow car of 13 of Vincent. The 45 got up in the catch fence through the quad oval, so very bad incident, and that's going to damage a lot of race cars very early on in this race.
That it will. Now we watch to see as Ben Burnett tries to catch the pace car, what happens with pit stops here as slow car stopped on the inside. He's going to spin it out nearly trying to get on pit road. Looks like pits are open for him though.
It looks like Steve Ritter currently second place, his number 16 machine. I'm looking, I can't confirm this, but it looks like he may have some rear end damage, I believe, from when Vincent plowed into the back of him, as you saw there on the e-play. So he may have to come in to get damage repair, because that's some pretty significant damage done to the back end of his race car.
Meanwhile, it looks like most of the leaders down on pit road. Burnett was the first one down. I see Chad Cole. I see it looks like Lavere is down there. A lot of cars on pit road. As it was a 4-tire stop for Burnett. He's going to be away. Somebody beats him out. It looks like he might have been speeding on the pit road, because he's being held here. There goes Lavere. There goes Cole. And here comes another car trying to go around him. I don't know exactly what's going on with Ben Burnett. He might have had a little bit of damage on that machine, but he is held for a little while before he's able to roll out in front of just about 2 cars right there, one of them being Doug Roth in the 43.
And that's right, him and his group came in, a bunch of drivers actually stayed out, and he got passed by a bunch of race cars there. I know the 5, the 05, 29 machine, 18, they all passed him on the exit of pit road, and he had to stay, so maybe a loose lug nut, something wrong, or maybe he did have to get some damage control from that incident, but definitely that's going to hurt the number 37 of Ben Burnett, a long stop.
While we pace for the first time at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more racing action.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we're back live at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The green flag is just flown, and we're back racing once again.
And that's right, Eric Arnold right now up the front. He's being forced to the outside, though. The number 4, CJ LeVere, working by on the inside, and he's right there along. Chad Cole's moving with him, and so is the 67 of Brian Harvey, 47 of Eric Arnold. He was the leader. He's getting left as now the 05 now, too. Chris Cable is going to work his way by. They're going to work their way in through turn number 2. CJ LeVere now to the lead, followed by Chad Cole, Brian Harvey, Eric Arnold now side by side with the 18 of Terry Lane. He is losing significant positions, and he is stuck on that high side as a train of cars are coming on the bottom. The 18, 37, 29 looking to go low. 47 looks like he got a little bit loose off 4. He is stuck on the high side, now being passed by the 18. The 37 is now looking a bad start for Eric Arnold. Back up front now.
You definitely don't want to get caught on the outside lane. Just go backwards. I think we've seen that multiple times now. Just a little earlier, we saw somebody go to the outside after somebody dove underneath them to pass them, and they became the last car in line after everybody was able to get by. So you definitely don't want to get caught up there. I think we're seeing that again here.
And that's right, a change for the lead now. The number 8 of Chad Cole opens up about a 4-car length lead on the 4 of CJ Lavere. Looks like maybe a little bit of a bump and run almost, maybe very close, maybe a little bit of contact as they work their way into turn number 3, but regardless, down the back straightaway, Chad Cole now leads CJ Lavere, and Chris Cable remains in 3rd position. And as they're working through turn number 4, we pretty much single-filed things out, but now it's the 18 machine who's stuck on the high side. Ooh, got real close to the wall off 4th place, or off turn 4. He is in 8th position. Now the 29 machine on the inside, he's going to work his way by. And now we're seeing the number 18 of Terry Lane. He's being stuck on the outside. Is he going to come down right in front of the 43 of Doug Roth? 43 is going to check up, and they're going to make it single file down the backstretch.
And how about Chad Cole? I mean, he's got quite a bit of a lead there, a pretty significant gap there behind them. Just a few cars, though. I'm seeing, how about this 05 car, Chris Cable? He's got a pretty good run going up here. 67 of Brian Harvey up front, making up the top 4. And Ben Burnett, who started on the pole, was held on that pit stop. He's up to 5th.
And that's right, an update on that incident. The number 16, Steve Ritter, who I mentioned had some rear end damage, they have taken that car behind the wall. So he is being shown 34th, 6 laps down. So that was a development as we were on commercial break. But it is Chad Cole opening up a 0.4 second lead on the number 4 of CJ Lavere for the lead as we work lap 22.
I'll tell you what, that 37 car, the 37 car is impressing me here. The way he's coming back up to a few cars here. He's kind of a bit off of the 67, and you got to wonder if he has some damage after being tagged by the 16 to cause the first caution. But really, it looks like he's doing all right. He's making up a decent amount of time. He's not really catching these guys, but he's not really losing them either here in his 37 machine. So I have a feeling we'll be maybe seeing a little bit more of this 37 a little later on as he actually runs down to 67 a little bit. 67 was up the hill. This is the 4th and 5th positions here.
In your leader, when this caution, when we went green, after this caution, was Eric Arnold. He is currently 9th position, his number 47 machine. He has gotten back down on the low side. We saw him stuck up top. He's gotten back in line, and he's going to try to slowly chip away at the number 43 of Doug Roth, who is right in front of him. But Doug Roth challenging the 29 of Brendan Mercer for 7th position.
And how about Brendan Mercer on the 7th position, running top 10? Actually told me before the race also he hates this racetrack. But he is here, and he's hanging in there as he's looking at for a top 10 run here in this 29 machine. Only 24 laps in, coming to get to 25 this time out of 160. He's got a pretty good run going as here comes the 43 of Doug Roth to the outside.
And a battle for 10th position, number 91, Steve Goschuk, as they work into turn number 1, I do believe. He is right in front of the number 24, Stefan Marinak, all over his bumper, followed by the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. They got real close to him as they were on the front stretch. Now they've separated by maybe half a car length, but that 24 car gets real close to the bumper, backs off a bit. So 24 car, Stefan Marinak, looking to make the pass on the number 91, maybe a little bit faster cars. He is looking for a way through, searching all over the front stretch as they work in turn 1.
In the battle for 7th update, the 43 of Doug Roth went to the outside. He cleared the 29 on one corner, and that was Brendan Mercer falling back to 8th. Looking back at that battle you were talking about, 91, Steve Gottschalk has a position 24 all over the bumper. He's looking like he's just going to ride in line, though. He can't really get the gap. I don't think he can do what the 43 just did to the 29. 43, man, he just shot up the racetrack, was able to make the pass with the ease. You see the 24 as this 91 gets loose. 24 was looking underneath. 91 maybe went to block. Got loose, and they got a little bit of a tag, I think, not much, but just a little bit of a bump that ended up spinning him around. He goes to the grass, saves it, he's on the apron, and looks like he's all right.
And what a save. That was real bad timing for the 24 car. Looks like the 91 did get loose right as the 24 was looking to make that pass, and managed to keep the 24 on track. 91 went through half of the grass here on the track, went into turn 1 on the apron, slid it sideways, and managed to hold on to that car. He's currently dropped back to 16th position. He's now entering pit road. fix those tires, any cosmetic repairs. So tough break, but it was great driving there to keep that car under control, not wreck it.
And Jose Gonzalez rejoined the racing surface after being held on pit road for a few laps, trying to get some damage repaired on his machine. He is a little ways off the pace here, 36th place, 15 laps down, and just right in line behind the 18 car. 26th, though, not the day he wanted to have for sure here.
And that's right, and he will gain a position at least, the number 16 Steve Ritter in front of him. He is off, and also the 23 Sam Edwards. He is 12 laps down, still on pit road, getting repairs. Joey Gattina 6 laps down. He is out on the racetrack, and everybody laps down from there out on the racetrack, except for the 82 of Doug Fleming. He is on pit road, so Jose Gonzalez, if he toughs it out, he'll definitely gain some spots, but the caution flag flies.
The caution flies for the 84 of Jimmy North, who was involved in some kind of incident here off of, I do believe, turn number 4. Or maybe going into turn number 3. Yeah, he gets a little bit of a bump here. He's 18th position, heading into turn number 3. He's got the 30 of Nick Silver on his bumper, and 30 just gets into the back of the 84, and the 84 gets turned up the racetrack.
And the 84 had pretty significant damage before that incident on his hood, but the car was still running fairly decent, and the 30, Nick Silver came over the radio, said, I didn't know he was going to check up there, so it looked like maybe the 30 was going to try to pull down on the bottom, make the pass, but before he had a chance to, the 84 checked up to make the corner, and just a racing incident.
And this changes everything, as Chad Cole will now come greet the pace car as we're under caution. Looks like he's on the apron looking for pit road. It's been probably 10 to 15 laps since we were last on pit road. Some guys had stayed out last time. Will they come in this time? Will we see anybody stay out this time? Here we go. We'll find out now as we work off of turn number 4. It's going to be Cole leading the field. It's going to be on his call probably, and he comes to pit road.
And it looks like everybody on the lead lap here, for the most part, they're going to come down for pit road. We are on lap 31 of 160, so we're slowly chipping away. We haven't seen a long green flag run yet, so the drivers haven't had a chance to feel their cars out on a long run, but they're going to come in and get some fresh tires, fill her up, and maybe make some slight wedge track bar adjustments to make their car feel to their liking.
Jimmy North, who was in the last caution, was the cause of the last caution with a little bit of help. Actually won this race last year, 1 year ago, so unfortunate luck here. Chad Cole led the most laps in the 2012 race here, 132 laps. He's up front, but he's going to lose the lead on pit road as he gets beat out by the 4 of C.J. LeVere and the 05 of Chris Gable.
And the 4 and the 05 were side by side at a pit road, so that was a good battle there. Chad Cole saying his pit crew is fired, so obviously rough stop for them. But Jimmy North has not had much luck. We've seen him the past couple weeks that I've had a chance to watch. He's had strong race cars. He's been up there, but he cannot catch a break. He either gets involved in an incident, wrong place at the wrong time, so he is still looking for a good finish, and he is currently sitting on pit road with some significant damage.
That he is, and you don't want to see that luck. I know that he's really probably very disappointed with the luck he's had. Hopefully he can overcome that. This is probably one of his better racetracks. It's unfortunate that he was involved in the incident that he was. But right now we're going to go ahead and try to talk on the radio to the guy that I was looking at the scoring a little earlier, and I saw this guy's in the top 5, running really well, top 10. He's been kind of stuck in the top 10 all day. 2 laps in, but it might be significant enough that he's got a pretty good day going, and that would be the 5 car of John Hanna Jr. John, Dakota Herman up the broadcast, be joined by Pasoka. You got a copy?
10-4.
Man, you got a pretty good solid day going so far.
Yeah, for a change, changed a little bit of strategy this week. We haven't had the best of luck over the first segment of the year, so we're just being a little bit more cautiously aggressive, I guess Darrell Waltrip would say.
Well, it seems to be working for you. You're sitting here 6th in the 5 car. You missed the first incident, and there's even some guys staying out here that you're benefiting. You're not really losing many spots. You seem to be relatively competitive. Are you feeling like you can run top 5 in this race, if not win this race?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. Top 5, definitely. Win. We'll see how things play out here.
Now, is this the John Hanna Jr. we'll see in the races to come here?
Oh yeah. I've been capable all season, and I've had some top 5 runs going, and just bad luck. I took myself out for 3 weeks in a row, but for the rest of the season, pretty much, I've been a victim of circumstance. I just taken the wrong approach to some of these races, and me and my team got together and we talked, and we think we might have things straightened out here.
All right, John, and I know we've seen a lot of different pit strategies here. What's your call here? Are you coming down every time for 4 tires, maybe 2 tires, and fuel, or are you kind of stretching out here for a fuel game?
I hope we get a good fuel run going in, but I don't see 2 tires being successful at all. I think it's definitely going to be a 4-tire race.
John, go ahead and give you a chance to throw any shots you may have here.
I just want to thank Newegg and my teammates, Doug Hoffman, Bobby Wetzel, the Wolves, and my family, and happy Memorial Day, and thank you to all the vets.
All right, thank you, John. Good luck here in the rest of the race.
Thank you.
How about John Hannon Jr., top 5 run going for him so far. Pretty good day for that 5 team.
Definitely top. He qualified back around between about 16th position, up in the top 5. Good night for him, and the number 91, Steve Gottschalk, currently 29th. He got the wave round, if you guys remember him. He went sliding through the tri-oval grass, so to speak. He has got his lap back, so that's good for him. And Jimmy North managed to stay on the lead lap. He'd come down pit road, get repairs, beat the pace car, and come back in. So good strategy by that team to keep himself in contention. Hopefully they can fix that thing up throughout the night and get a good points day.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there, but here we go. Pace car ties. We're about to go green flag racing. CJ Lavera going to lead us to the green flag. He's away. 8 car. Chad Cole just behind him on the inside. Chris Cable outside his Can-Am car. It looks like Cole is going to be able to prevail on the inside. He's got to the bottom of the 05. 05 throws the car in deep. He's going to be able to clear Chad Cole, looks like almost, as CJ Lavera pulls away. They're side by side behind him. Chad Cole actually had a lot of momentum. 05 gets wicked sideways, almost comes down to Chad Cole. He's alright though. 37, Ben Burnett looking underneath the 05 of Chris Cable there. Looks like Cole will take the spot. Burnett looking to follow as he pushes up the racetrack. And meanwhile, up front, Lavera is loving this, and his race lead is pulling away a little bit.
And that's right, second place is really at a disadvantage on these restarts. You think starting on the front row would be good, but he can't look right in front of him and see the leader. He has to look to his side and make sure he's still looking in front of him to see when he goes, and that's why he has dropped. He's now back to 4th place. Great start by CJ Lavera, and Chad Cole and Ben Burnett capitalized, went down low on the 05 to move into 2nd and 3rd place as we work lap 36, and they're going to come to the tri-oval.
He's currently in that 4th position, but here comes the 5th position car, the 5 car of John Hannon Jr., as well as the 43, Doug Roth. Doug Roth also another one of those guys that has a really good day going for him. A lot better than the last few weeks, I would say, because he's running 6th right now, and that's a really good run for the 43 crews. They're looking to maybe get to the top 5 here. He's all over the bumper. The 5 cars, the 05 in 4th position, just got the apron big time. He's all right though, and hearing this is some of the fastest laps of the night here from George Hood.
And another car to keep an eye on, currently in 8th position, the number 47, Eric Arnold. He led a restart about, I think, our second to last caution. He dropped way back as he got trapped on the high side. He's trying to claw back. I think he dropped back to about 9th or 10th position. He's now back up to 8th. He is being challenged by the number 21 of Matt Lacrosse. They get real close in turn number 3, but 47 looking to try to move forward.
You know, Matt Lacrosse is a really fast car. He's really one of those guys that you've got to look out for, running top 5 quite a bit, especially in the Thursday night Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing, Derek Spirit Design. You see that 21 machine now getting to the bumper of the 47. He's in 9th, and he's looking for the wall maybe here as he nearly got it if he didn't. Here's the 47 looking underneath the 67 of Brian Harvey. Harvey up the racetrack just a little bit. Not sure what happened there, but he's making it work for a second. But the 47 able to rotate just a little bit better off the corner and get a run going.
And when you're looking at the racetrack, it looks like there's a ton of room, but when you're that car on the bottom is the 47. There you go. He slides up. I was just about to mention that 21 into his rear end. You got to hold that thing down. It's going to get real loose, push up, and if there's a car up there trying to take the air off you, you have to be real cautious, and we almost saw it there, almost wrecked there. 47 managed to hold it on, good driving there, but that really stacked things up now. The 24, Stefan Marinak, Leading the bottom charge, number 25, Brendan Mercer. He's stuck on the high side, and he's about to be passed by the number 21 of Matt Lacrosse, it looks like, in the 38 following of Mark Bratcher. So we have a battle for about 10th position now.
Yeah, I think we got battles all over the racetrack. As now Bratcher looks at the bottom side of the 29. Here comes the 10 car of Abbott. Look underneath Mercer as well. Mercer followed back in a hurry here. Looking up front, the 67 Brian Harvey, in the 47 Eric Arnold, 8th and 7th position, I do believe. Going at it, it looks like Eric Arnold will take the spot. Here's the 24 Stephen Marinac now looking underneath Harvey. He gets the spot. 67 in trouble here.
That's right, 67 almost like on the high side, no one below him. He's running a little bit higher up than the 24. I keep watching that. In the corner, 24 enters high, arcs it down to the bottom. Saw that 67 car not quite down on the white line, and now he's going to get passed by the 21. Maybe something wrong with that car because he is dropping quick as now. Also the 38, Mark Bratcher is going to take a look inside, pull back in line, but look for the pass in turn 1. 67 dropping fast.
Meanwhile, Chad Cole has taken over the lead from C.J. LeVere, I do believe, in his bullet weight by just a little bit, just about a tenth of a second, a few car lengths maybe, if only one, possibly. Is the 47 is slow on the outside lane. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. He was almost run into by the 10 car, the 38 car, and the 29. Now, as he checks up, he just got the back of the 10 car somehow. Not the 10 car sideways, and I was just looking at the 81 of Stephen Almendo, wanting to talk about how he had a pretty good day going, sitting in the 14th position. He's got to pick up a spot out of this, be 13th, maybe right on the bumper of the 29 car.
And there's that bottom line, the number 10 car just pushed up, and they're so tight, made slight contact with the front of the 47, they managed to hold on to that. But back off lap 2, last lap for Eric Arnold, he got real tight, slid all the way up the track, had to get out of the gas, and that's why he was so slow up high. Managed to keep it off the wall, but he lost a couple positions. You saw him working up. He was in 8th. He has dropped to 14th. So it looks like 47. Not a bad car, but he's not getting much breaks. But we still have a lot of racing to go as we work lap 45.
Yeah, only 45 laps into a 160-lap race to see the 81 push up the racetrack. Here's the 47 not coming to the outside. Again, all this battle for the 13th position with Arnold and Almendo. See it right for the Mercer using the outside lane of the racetrack when he's all by himself. There's the 81, gets the apron, gets a little sideways. He's going to be all right.
And looks like the 47's not going to well. We just got a note of pretty significant left front damage to that 47 of Eric Arnold from when the 10 slid up, bent up the sheet metal. Doesn't look like there's a tie rubber or anything, so he should be okay, but that might cause a couple seconds of repair down on pit road with a hammer, knocking that back in place as a precaution, but he has moved up to 13th, and now he's taking a look on the 29 of Brendan Mercer.
And I called the 10 car John Abbott. That's generally his number. It is his car, but he has a sub in the car tonight. That's Josh Cheney in the 10 car running in 11th position. So don't know what's up with John not being here, but hopefully he can be here next week. As you see the 10 car getting really sideways, nearly getting the wall off the corner there.
And that's one thing with these points and a chase. If you're missing a weekend, you need to get a backup driver, and obviously you have people that you would prefer. You really have no control. You can give them their setup, but that may not be the setup that they drive, their driving style. So a lot of trust in a backup driver, but definitely a good run right now for Josh Cheney. Top 10 definitely would be a good points day for that number 10 machine of John Abbott. I'm thinking he's going to move up, but he looks pretty, he's not sliding off the corners. He looks pretty calm and controlled, just running his line. So watch out for that 10 car. Nice, smooth, keeping his line.
Battle for third is intense. 37 outside, 05 inside. That's 37 to Ben Burnett. 05 with Chris Cable. John Hanna Jr. sitting just behind them. Man, the 05, he throws the car in deep, lets it push up. The 37 had a lot of momentum off the corner. Looks like the 05 finally clears the 37. 37 jumps in line and creeping into the picture. The winner at Darlington, the 24 of Stephen Marinac.
And it seems every battle that we're talking about, right behind him is Stephen Marinac. He is quietly moving up. He's now in 6th position, and it seems whenever two cars get sideways, he just drafts right up to him, and he's waiting in the wings. So that 24 car is definitely moving forward. It's the 05 of Chris Cable who is in 3rd, followed by Ben Burnett. John Hanna Jr. still in 5th. We talked to him on that caution break, but it looks like the 24 of Stephen Marinac, who's going to take a look, and he's going to go inside here in turn 3.
You see John Hanna Jr. having a lot of problems getting to the inside lane, getting right on that white line, and that could be costing him a little bit of time here compared to everybody else. It seems like he just gets stuck up just about a lane, but he's making it work. He's still being pretty competitive speed-wise. but that could be costing him here, maybe driving the corner too hard, and maybe a tight car for him in his 5 team.
And your leaders, I'm looking at our last lap times, they are virtually running dead even laps, so I don't think any one of them is going to make a quick pass, not like any one of them has fresher tires, they both pitted, so no one's real charging. They're staying pretty significant, running about 29.0, maybe 29 ones. You see Chad Cole ran a 29.095 there, CJ Lavere, the exact same time, so very consistent for your leaders.
I'll tell you what, I've been watching this battle here, the 47-29, that is Arnold and Mercer, just about 11th position. Arnold has made some contact recently with a few other cars. He has some left rear damage, I'm being told, as Mercer has some rear end damage on his bumper. The 10 car behind them, Josh Cheney, has some front end damage, and I'm hearing Hoffman also has some front damage, but Mercer and Arnold just made some contact a little while ago, and I was about to say the right front fender might be a little damaged now.
And that's right, and this track, it gets really small when there's a car sliding in front of you. It looks wide on the screen, but you gotta choose a high side, you gotta choose a line star. If you're behind a car and it slides up, you have to think, is he gonna save it? And things can really get stacked up real quick. If we saw earlier with the number 24 machine looking to make a pass on, I believe it was the 91 machine, as soon as you go there, the car gets sideways, you don't have much of a choice. You have to stay dedicated, so things can check up real quickly. And obviously all those drivers around each other have pretty minor cosmetic damage. Now it's a 10 of Josh Cheney, right on the back bumper of the 29 of Brendan Mercer. They are all battling for that 12th position.
Mercer going a little backwards here maybe, as up front though, here is Stephen Marinac looking for the 3rd position. He's now underneath the 05. He's been around the 37 of Ben Burnett, and also the 5 of John Hanna Jr. That 24 car is really rolling up front, as he's still side by side with the 05 machine. He's got the run, he's got the track position, or the lane, preferred lane at least, and here he goes. 05 actually going to go way up the track, give it to him, going to try to come down and cut off the 37 if he can. He does not want to give up that spot. He falls back in line, and 24 going to lead the way here.
And that's something, that 24 car is very strong, because what you would expect is if they're side by side in the corner, the car on the outside you would think would get the run. He's going to come down the hill with a huge run and maybe gain some speed on the backstretch. That 24 car is getting off of the corners really good, and he has taken over the 3rd position. He is charging.
And how about a shout out to Elmo Langley in the chat room. Again, anybody can join us in the chat room on the ETV site, etv-eplay.net. There's a link up there next to your video player there. Is looking back up at the action on track. 24 car around the 05 of Cable, around Burnett, around Lacrosse, who just went around John Hanna Jr. He's worked his way up to the field quite a bit here.
And as this has all been going on, so to speak, Chad Cole, CJ Lavere, your leaders, they've opened up a 3-second lead on Stephen Marinac, who has worked his way up to 3rd position. So they're kind of distancing themselves, as we're now starting to see some lap traffic. There's the number 20 machine of Mike Montesi. He has went a lap down. So they have pulled away, and they're still virtually even with each other. So Stephen Marinac's going to have to make up a lot of ground if he wants to catch them if we stay as a long green flag run. But if you're looking at the lap times wise, he is a little bit slower than your leader. So definitely CJ Lavere, Chad Cole, your class of the field right now as they're working their way through turn number 1, still 1-2.
You see the unique lane. If you look at their lane, they're running a really unique lane. You see almost everybody else hitting the apron almost every time they go to the corner. These guys just about half a lane up, opposite bottom, and using that every single time. Every single time they go to a corner, the exact same amount. They really have the track down. You see Chad Cole now kind of really arcs the corner quite a bit. He's able to get down towards the bottom. Didn't even quite get the apron that time either, compared to a lot of other cars. He's really turning really well, turning how he wants to, and he's got it going pretty quickly here. So he definitely has the line down. Chad Cole, probably one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, is a .270 second lead on CJ Lavere, and he is the race leader.
And CJ following just about maybe 6 car lengths behind 8. Chad Cole opened up a little bit more of a gap here as we work this lap. CJ can follow that line of the 8, say, alright, this is the leader's lane. He's going to follow the same lane, then he can slightly adjust it. If he moves up a bit, maybe half a lane, see if that has any better grip. I noticed the last time by the 4 car, CJ Lavere, he actually got down to the white line. You see him get real close to it there. However, the 8 is not quite getting as low. So definitely CJ Lavere searching as he has dropped a tenth of a second. Nothing major, but definitely messing around with his line trying to find what works.
We're going to go ahead and go through the field here as we mentioned Chad Cole, CJ Lavere, top 2 spots. Stefan Marinac currently up to 3rd. He started 2nd tonight, and he's climbed through quite a few cars here to be back up into the 3rd position. We've recapped a few of them. Ben Burnett was the pole sitter here tonight, and he actually overcame a little bit of adversity on pit road. He was collecting a little bit of an incident with the Steve Ritter machine, which he came down pit road, was either caught speeding or had to fix some damage. We don't quite know, but he was held on pit road for a little while. He came off a little ways towards the back and was able to come back through the field up to 4th. And Chris Cable is with Evan Soko.
And that's right, Chris Cable, his 05 machine. He's been around up front all day. He did not he qualified 26th, and I think he stayed out on that first incident. And then when the second caution came around, everybody else went in. So definitely smart moves on the pit lane there for that 05 machine. He is in 6th position, right behind him, John Hanna Jr., who we spoke to not too long ago. He took a flirt there with 5th position. He was 6th at a time. He has dropped back to 7th. Very good, strong run for them. Brian Harvey and his number 67 machine is 8th place. Mark Bratcher, his number 38 machine, he qualified 14th. He has moved his way up to 9th. And Doug Roth rounds off your top 10, his number 43 machine, about 7 seconds off the leader.
A pretty solid run for a lot of those guys you mentioned. We forgot to mention Matt Lacrosse, as we sent it to Chris Cable, Cable had just been passed by Matt Lacrosse. So we missed Matt Lacrosse, and he's had an interesting day as he's catching the 37 right now. He's maybe able to get past the 37. Lacrosse started all the way back in 30th. He's currently running in the 5th position, looking for the 4th, as he actually has got quite a bit of a run on the 37 machine now. He has to back off just a little bit, but he is there. So 21 car, really stout tonight. 47 car is going to be scored in the 11th position. That is Eric Arnold. He's been up and down, has a decent night, but has quite a bit of damage on his car now. Josh Cheney back to 12th in his 10 machine, subbing for John Abbott. Eventful night as well. Mike King hasn't been quite as eventful in his 04 machine, but he is up there running in the 13th position. Brennan Mercer has been up and down. We've had headlights on him, or spotlights on him. I don't know what I'm talking about. Spotlights, says the 29 has been in a few incidents, been 3 wide, been 2 wide. He's had an eventful night. Matt Hoffman up to 15th with a little bit of front end damage. Guy Snyder 16th in his 27 machine, and he's got a battle going on right behind him. Brett McBride in 17th. Rich Jett 18th in his 36 machine. Nick Silver 19th. He's kind of fallen back a little bit from where we were talking about him earlier. And Steven Almendo rounds out the top 20, and he was running just about 14th or 13th when we talked about him earlier, so he's kind of fallen back.
And we had an incident about 4 laps ago, as I believe we're working lap 67, so 3 laps ago. Lap 64, the 67 machine and the 38 off turn 2. That was Mark Bratcher down low on the 67 machine. 67 came down a bit. Guess he didn't see him there in the mirror. That was Brian Harvey came down. They made contact. 67 which slid back up in front of the 38, pounded him in the bumper. So maybe some rear end damage for the 67. They were managed to drive it through that, but maybe watch out for some damage as they are both 8th and 9th place right now.
And Glenn Campbell has decided to call it a night. As the 12 car just about to come down on the leaders. That was the 12 car of Douglas Wyatt, who just went a lap down. He came off the wall, like he got into the wall, came down, and almost took out CJ Lavere, who was sitting 2nd on the racetrack. So 12 car in trouble after losing a lap. He's definitely not happy with the car.
And John Hanna Jr., his number 5, he has moved that back into 5th position. He has moved around the number 37 machine of Ben Burnett, your pole sitter. So John Hanna Jr. back up into the top 5 position. Matt Lacrosse hanging out in 4th, and our top 3 have been the same: Chad Cole, CJ Lavere, and Stefan Marinac.
You can't forget Chris Cable either. He was running just about 3rd earlier, back to 7th. He was also passed by John Hanna Jr. and Matt Lacrosse. So Cable, good night gone bad here. It looks like he's kind of falling back, and I use the word bad lightly here. Still a top 10 run, but he was running 3rd all the way back to 7th. That's back 4 spots.
And Matt Lacrosse has gained 26 positions up to this point. We're lap 70, so great charge for them. And also a quick update, the number 20 machine, Mike Montesi, currently being shown 28th position, 4 laps down. He has also brought his car to the garage.
Well, with 90 laps to go here, there's no cable to bring out a red flag, so we'll go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more green flag racing action from Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by FullThrottle Racing.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Racing Series returns to ETV Live on Tuesday nights following the Fast Track Racing Series radio show. After organizing a highly successful team series in 2010, Jerry Wolf is back with some kick butt, take no prisoners, team racing action like you have never seen before. The ETV Live Team Racing Series is sponsored by HD Radio Network, live on Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't wimp out, dude. Catch the action live at etv-eplay.net.
We're back live with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by FullThrottle Racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We thought we were going to see green flag stops just as we came back, but the caution has come out here for the 5 car of Ed Williams Jr. and the 18 car. And I do believe the 18 car is Terry Lane, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what happens here. We're going to turn number 1. Ed Williams Jr. gets the apron, and I'm looking for him to just come up the racetrack big time and get the 18 of Terry Lane. Lane gets stuck in the wall. Ed Williams Jr. comes up into him, and they just basically get turned back around right in front of the right on the racetrack. 23 of Sam Edwards going to get the wall here, just a little bit, 32nd position, trying to avoid those guys. Looks like he might be all right. He'll just have quite a bit of damage there, but those two might be the only two involved, or those 3. Joey Gattina maybe just a little bit in his 14 machine. Not sure, but that was right around the leaders.
That's what I was watching the leaders, and they saw Smoke the 65 was right on the apron, and it looked like the 65 just caught the 18 so quick as they exited the quad oval. He had to swerve down to make the pass, caught the apron, and there was just no grip, and they both went into the wall, sending the 65 around. 18 dove it down low into the grass, and that would bring out your caution as we were on commercial break. But right now, yellow flag pit stops are occurring, and it looks like everybody's pretty much down pit road as the 8 leads them on.
That would be your yellow flag pit stops here. Now, I said there was no cable on the racetrack. That didn't mean that we wouldn't see a caution while we were away. But Jag Cole going to win the battle off pit road, as to where last time he came down pit road as the leader, came off 3rd. Not quite this time. LeBerry going to come off 2nd. You know, I'm looking to see who comes off 3rd. Marinac, I do believe. Lacrosse 4th. John Henry Jr. 5th. Ben Burnett 6th with Jeff Eden 6th, baby here. Mark Bratcher 7th, Doug Roth 8th, Mike King 9th, and Eric Arnold rounding out the top 10 in 10th position.
In the 65 car came over the radio apologizing for that incident, obviously unintentional, just a racing deal. And Douglas Wyatt, his number 12 machine, he is now going to be scored 25th. He got the lucky dog, so he will get his lap back.
Well, while we pace once again, why don't we go ahead and try to talk to another driver on the radio. Who do you want to talk to here, Evan?
Well, I'm looking. I think we need to talk to our leaders because they've seemed pretty consistent, and they haven't really battled with each other. We've seen everyone else going side by side, and they did open up about a 3-second lead earlier in the race.
Well, speaking of our leaders, then, we got one of them here. And I'm hearing anybody but Chad Cole, but it's kind of too late for that. We've got him on the radio here just for Evan.
Chad Cole, Evan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Well, it looks like you guys are running a pretty strong race. You're currently sitting second place. And how does this race feeling for you? You've been up front all day. How's the car?
It's actually pretty neutral. Not tight, not loose, one way or another. Gotten a little bit loose on exit a couple times, and that kind of compounds itself. You don't take it easy for a couple laps there, so got to be kind of conscious of that because it'll snap around on you. Other than that, it's a good car tonight.
And we are about 3 laps away from the halfway point. So what is your strategy when it comes to pit stops? Every caution, are you going to come in and get 4 fresh tires? Are you going to watch what the rest of the field does so you can keep yourself up front all night?
Yeah, I'm really a fan of 4 tires. I don't care for 2 too much because you kind of got to baby it because it's fairly loose. So if we get it like 10 green laps or so, I'll usually come in bolt 4 on.
And we saw you and CJ LeVere as you guys were up front. You guys were running about half a lane up from the white line as opposed to everybody else. So what's the thought behind that line?
Well, I just like to arc it out a little bit on entry, then try to get to the throttle when you're pointing down towards the line. You don't really want to be hugging it out too much on entry.
And we're getting ready to go green. Any shout-outs you want to throw out there as you're sitting in first?
Yeah, David Lanza, just wonder where you are tonight. We miss you, bud.
Well, that's the number 8, Chad Cole. He is your leader as we're about to go green next time by as we work lap 78.
Well, there would be the 8 of Chad Cole, your leader. The guy that I was told not to get, but we got him anyway. We'll get LeVere next time, hopefully. Maybe we get Lacrosse before this race ends. Nope, we got a delay. We've got plenty more time. Why don't we talk to CJ LeVere while we're at it?
And they have delayed the caution, so we are not going to go green. They have turned the pace car lights on. We're going to go around again, but I do believe we have CJ LeVere on the radio.
Now we do. CJ LeVere sitting second on the racetrack. LeVere, solid run. You've been towards the front, and it doesn't look like you're leaving that.
What was that? I'm sorry.
So you've been up towards the front most of the day, and it doesn't look like you're leaving that position.
We're going to try to keep the car up front and try to stay pace with Chad Cole and save our tires. I don't really think we got anything for him, but we're looking for a solid top 5. That's all we need.
Been really close to Chad Cole. It seems like, especially the last run, you really you got some time on the racetrack. It seemed like able to follow Chad Cole. You're able to stick with Chad Cole. Can you beat Chad Cole? Or are you going to try to beat Chad Cole? Now you're talking about going for a top 5. Or are you going to actually go for the win here, though?
We won the All-Star race, and this is the car we won the All-Star race in. It's a pretty good car. We're not going to let the secret out. We'll see if we can get him. We're not sure right yet. We got to make a little bit of adjustments here.
Alright, well, CJ, here's your chance to throw out any shout-outs you may have here.
I'd like to thank Hippie's Paint Shop, RSR, ETV Live, HD Radio Network, everybody that makes this happen. This is a big organization, and it's an awesome place to race. You should check it out, realsimracing.com.
Alright, well, good luck here the rest of the race with you, bud.
Thank you.
Now I do believe we're getting set to go green flag racing. Pace car lights are off, and they're not coming back on. Chad Cole about to take us to the green flag. Pace car going to dive as we work off at turn number 4.
And we're working through turn number 4. Chad Cole is going to take him down to the green flag here. That pace car is going to dive to pit road, and he is away. Chad Cole's going to blow by the field, and the 4, CJ LeVere, pulls right down in second place. And the 8 car, Chad Cole opens up a 6-car lead, as they work into turn number 1.
LeVere falling back to second. Marinac going to fall back in line in third. Here's Burnett with a lot of company from the 21 Lacrosse, who started well back in the field. After not taking the time of qualifying, he goes around Burnett, slides up the racetrack quite a bit, but going to keep his momentum up. Burnett falls back into the spot. Behind him, Doug Roth. And then there's John Hanna Jr. on the outside. He's in 6th position, or 7th position, on the outside of Eric Arnold, who had some damage earlier. And there's Mark Bradshaw getting the apron just a little bit. Hearing battle for 9th position. That was Mark Bradshaw And it's still Arnold in front of them, just a little bit in front of him. It's just Arnold and John Hanna Jr. in 8th and 7th position.
And we just passed the halfway point in that 47 of Eric Arnold. He is trying to chip away. He fell back, he got back up to 8th, then he almost lost it, dropped back to 14th. Now he's back up to 8th position, and he just got 7th away from the 5 of John Hanna Jr. So that 47 machine trying to chip away, but keep your eye on the 24 of Stefan Marinac and the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. When we were on our green flag run, they were slowly passing everybody to get to 3rd and 4th, but the leaders were so far away they didn't have much for them. But now with this restart, they're looking to get that 2nd place position from the number 4 of CJ Lavere, and they were all closing in on him.
And here's another thing. When you look at some of the cars right there, like Eric Arnold, you got to wonder if they're short-run cars, because, I mean, they do so well in the short run, but kind of fall back a little bit the longer we go. It seems like Chad Cole, though, up front, really strong on the short run, really strong in the long run. CJ Lavere, same story. We don't know from Marinac. We know he was working through the field. He was staying pretty close to even with the leaders. Was maybe still losing just a little bit of time, but we'll see now that he can see what they're doing on the racetrack. He can mock that line. 21 of Matt Lacrosse been pretty stout all night as well after starting in the back of the field. He had to go through quite a few cars. Again, up to that 4th position, so I have a feeling now that he can see the leaders, he can do the same. What they don't want to see right now is them getting side by side, because then that gives a chance for Chad Cole to just drive away if they battle for long enough here.
And the 29 of Brendan Mercer, he is way back in 20th position. I know a couple of laps ago we saw him up in the top 10, so not sure if there were issues for that 29 car. I noticed he came down about 2 laps after the leaders did to pit under that caution, so the 29 car has ground to make up.
John Hanna Jr. is now around Eric Arnold for the 7th position, and here is Mark Bratcher looking for 8th for him. As he slides up the racetrack, gets into Arnold just a little bit. Arnold slides up after smoking a little bit. 04 coming up the racetrack. He wiggles. He gets collected by the 05. Big wreck on the backstretch.
And that's right. Eric Arnold, again, he's going to get stuck on that high side there on the 04. Just tried to get by. Got so loose. The 05 right behind him. His teammate had absolutely nowhere to go. And they wrecked down below the apron, or on the apron, so to speak. So I do believe there is no caution, though, for managed to bounce off the wall. He's rolling, obviously going to have to come down pit road for repairs. Now, he is staying on the racetrack with his damage, but he is dropping pretty significantly, so a tough break for Mike King there.
Definitely a very tough break, as he was able to get going pretty quickly after spinning it out. And it's kind of just saw that they got blown by the 12 car, who was, I believe, a lap down. He received the lucky dog this last caution, and I don't believe he did. Yeah, he did actually. So the 24th place car, the 12 car of Douglas White, actually was the last car to get the lucky dog. I do believe made up that lap on the last caution. He just went around, I believe, was King.
And another car to keep an eye on, currently 10th position, the number 30 of Nick Silver. We also saw him up in the top 10 earlier in the race. He dropped back pretty significantly. It may have been some damage from an incident, but he is now working his way up. I believe he was back around 20th. He is currently 10th position, and he is looking at the battle for an 8th place. Eric Arnold now about to pass the number 43 of Doug Roth as he looks inside in turn 3. The 43 car has lost 2 positions this lap, so maybe dropping back. He is stuck on the high side.
Looking back here, another battle on the racetrack. Arnold once again in the battle. 43 Doug Roth on the outside. Roth slides back quite a bit here. He's going to maybe get the wall a little bit. Falls back to the 30 of Nick Silver. Silver goes around. Again, all this battling for the just about 8th position, 9th position actually. As Silver is taking the spot. He's now around Roth and looking to get around the 47 of Eric Arnold.
And back up front, it looks like Chad Cole, he got the big jump there on the restart as he dictates the start. He has pretty much stayed the same distance, maybe opened up a little bit of ground on the 4 CJ Lavere in 2nd place, but the 24 Stefan Marinac and the 21 Matt Lacrosse, they have been right there with the 4 cars since we went back green. Not able to pass him, but pretty equal race cars.
I would say that they're really equal. I think what we're going to see is the long run, who fades and who doesn't. You see Lacrosse kind of hanging back there like he's maybe not as quick on the short run, but we did see him coming through the pit really quickly earlier on, just a little earlier when he was on the long run. You see they go by the 65 of Ed Williams Jr., who almost comes down off a wall and collects a few of them. He looks like he's kind of out of control there in his 65 machine.
And he's going to lose another lap. He is 18 laps down right now, and we spoke to CJ Lavere and Chad Cole, and they mentioned they need to make slight adjustments, and they really have to predict how the end of this race is going to go, because if we enter under a long green flag run, you got to set your car up for that, and you can end up catching him, as you mentioned, 21 maybe hanging back, saving his equipment for later in the run. But if you set up your car for that specific incident and we get something like a 5-lap shootout, that's not going to be good for you. So it's really a gamble when you try to set these cars up. So you want to find somewhat of a medium. You want it to be fast everywhere, but obviously you're going to have a preferred run length that you want to run with your race car.
Indeed. How about Ben Burnett? Back to 5th position, 2.099 seconds behind race leader Chad Cole, just about a second and a half behind second place car CJ Lavere. Just about the same story for Marinac, but he's just about 1 second back from Matt Lacrosse. Burnett started on the pole, again collected just a little bit, not much, but he did make contact in the first caution when Ritter came up the track and got into him and spun out. 37 car was held on a long pit stop, and he recovered, made up a few spots, but he's been kind of hovering around the 5th position, was up to his highest 3rd, and never got any higher, actually fell back, because I'm seeing the 78 car, 18 car, Terry Lane in trouble, 24th position on the apron, and turn number 4, he comes down pit road here, he had come up the track just a little bit, 3 and 4, looks like he's going to be alright though, and comes down pit road to the attention of his crew.
And the 67 of Brian Harvey had a rough lap there on lap 93. He lost 3 positions. The 81 machine, the 36, and another car all got by him. He just got trapped on the outside on the back straightaway, and there was not much that he could do, and those three cars passed him, putting him back now in the 14th position, so he's going to want to look to make up those. He has not dropped back for them, and he's going to try to battle those positions back for him as they are single file, as they work their way through the quad oval.
Doug Fleming, 29, 7 laps down, still on the racetrack using the outside lane. Just got passed by a lot of cars, so Fleming in trouble here as well. Just 89 laps for him in the books here, but for the rest of the field, 96 laps down so far, and then coming to Gleckson, lap 97.
And the 84, Jimmy North, 25th, he's a lap down. We saw he had a pretty heavy contact earlier in the race. He has now lost a lap, and he is going to be trying to race the number 1 of 91 of Steven Gottschalk for that lucky dog position, as we have a car in the grass, the 40 car in the grass on the front straight away, and right in front of the 91 machine is that 40 car, got way down in the grass, came back up right in front of the 91, had the check up, and he was able to hang on to that. That was Matt Hoffman.
So Hoffman in trouble here, lap 96, coming across the line from 97, I believe, or it was 97 coming across the line from 98. Jeff Eden gives up a position, I do believe, comes down pit road, 23rd position, currently scored 1 lap down. He now moves to 24th, 1 lap down, comes straight to his pit stall, and looks like he stops for service. I believe the right sides go up on that machine. Possibly here, it looks like he might have a little bit of problems on the stop there.
And he looks a little bit sideways in his stall, so they're going to try to get that car fixed up for him. He is 2 laps down at the moment, and I believe he will lose a couple more laps as he sits in there for repairs. And back up front, Stefan Marinac, who was challenging CJ Lavere. Stefan in 3rd place right now. He was on the bumper of that 4. The 4 car has now opened up about a 0.4 second lead on him. So it looks like the long run is favoring Chad Cole and CJ Lavere. And Matt Lacrosse has also dropped a little bit off the bumper of the 24. However, they are almost the lead group, all 4 of them, even though they're not bunched up together. The car right behind Matt Lacrosse, Ben Burnett, he is 3.3 seconds back. So we have a lead group that is the class of the field at the moment, but things can change. We still have 60 laps of racing to go.
Now we do, as the leader comes across the line and collects lap 101. So he'll start lap 101, actually, I do believe, but that'll leave 60 laps remaining exactly here at this point. Go ahead and run through your top 10 here and update you on who's where. Chad Cole running in position number 1. CJ Lavere back to 2nd. He's exactly 1 second back from Chad Cole. Stefan Marinac back to 3rd. 1.5 seconds back. Matt Lacrosse 4th. 1.8 seconds back. Ben Burnett back to 5th. 3.4 seconds back. Mark Bratchard, he's up to 6th in his 38 machine. 4.4 seconds back. Eric Arnold going to be scored in the 7th position, 4.6 seconds back, 2/10 behind Mark Bratcher. John Hannon Jr. in his 5 machine in 8th position, 5 seconds back. Nick Silver, 9th in his 30 machine, 5.2 seconds back. And Doug Ross rounding out the top 10 in his 43 machine, 6.1 seconds back.
And that's right, it's Chad Cole has now opened up a second gap on CJ Levere, as you mentioned. So his car seems very strong, and we heard CJ mention when we spoke to him that he doesn't think he can get Chad Cole right now, so he may need a couple more stops to make slight adjustments. So Chad Cole definitely pulling away, and he has been in the lead the most of this race. And Brennan Mercer now in the 17th position. Quick update on him, his number 29 machine. He was up in the top 10 early in the race. He dropped back significantly almost to the end of the lead lap on our last caution. He's slowly working his way up his 17th position, but he is 12 seconds off your leader.
Yeah, 12.9 seconds back to be exact. Josh Chaney behind him in the 10 car, 7 for John Abbott. Adam Roberts, 88 machine. I haven't talked much about him. He's running 16th just in front of Brennan. He is exactly 12.1 seconds back, just, I believe, a little over nearly a second in front of Brennan Mercer, but just on the bumper of the 05 of Chris Cable. So Adam Roberts, decently solid run here. He's almost to the top 15 as he's looking. He might be looking to get around the 05 if he can get the room there in his 88 machine.
And catching another driver is one thing, but making a clean and smart pass is another. You can't just throw it in there and hope for it to stick. You have to get the run, you got to time it right, and you have to make sure that that driver in front of you knows that you're there. You can't peek a nose in there, him not expect it, and then he'll end up coming down over your nose. So it's real tough to pass. As you can see, the work down the backstretch. He's going to try to get the run. Looks to the inside, but there wasn't enough room. He's going to pull back up, and he's going to try it again next lap.
Tell you what, though, big gap that Chad Cole has opened up. 1.1 over second place, 2.1 over third place, 2.4 over fourth place, and 4.7 over fifth place. Chad Cole, large gap on the field currently.
And he's going to put the 84 machine of Jimmy North his second lap down, which means Steve Gottschalk is the only car a lap down. So if we were to have a caution anytime soon, he would get the lucky dog position. And I'm checking the lap times here. Chad Cole running about a 10th quicker than everybody else. However, that lap CJ Levere got him by a 10th, but it seems consistently Chad Cole slowly edging away from everybody else.
He talked to us, the 84 Jimmy North going down the lap, was involved in a caution just a few cautions ago, actually. I don't think he was the last one, but made the caution before that. The 84 got in trouble. Currently 2 laps down, like you mentioned. Actually won this race 1 year ago in his 84 machine. Fortunately not able to do it here tonight, though, as he's kind of got a bad night going for the Jimmy North crew. He just looks like he's out here riding around, though.
Yeah, and there's no sense bringing it into the garage. I mean, we still have about 54 laps of racing left, and if we see another incident, him being only 2 laps down, if other cars are damaged to the point where he has to bring it to the garage, he can gain a couple positions, and he is a lap ahead of Douglas Wyatt, who's 3 laps down. So if he just drives around, obviously he still has pretty significant damage, no hood, bent up bumper and bent up front nose on that car. He's just going to ride around, obviously a couple miles an hour off speed with the leaders, ride around, try to gain as many positions as possible, and try to salvage maximum points as he can for this race.
That's definitely what you want to do, get as many points as you possibly can. He is a lap in front of Douglas White at 12, 2 laps in front of Joey Gattina in the 14, and just about 5 laps in front of, I do believe, Doug Fleming in the 82. Jeff Eden, who we mentioned going down on pit road earlier, is currently 13 laps down. As many laps down as Sam Edwards. He's still on pit road in his 33 machine, so a lot of trouble for Jeff Eden as he's now passed for position by Sam Edwards, who is out on the track with a little bit of damage still.
And I'm not sure what's wrong with that number 33 car. I'm looking, he has very minor right side damage, maybe something internal in the car, maybe loss of power, need to change out a battery. Anything could happen inside that car, so nothing cosmetic, but he has definitely been on pit road, and he's not looking like he's going anywhere anytime soon. But back up front, Chad Cole now opening up his gap on CJ Levere to 1.2 seconds as he works by the stripe, this time by to take lap 112.
Ben Burnett just passed by 2 cars in a row. There was Arnold, there was Silver. I believe he was also passed by Bratcher just before that, so he's back 3 spots. And John Hanna Jr. now to his bumper, looking to get around 37, going backwards again after starting on the pole, being involved in an incident earlier on in the race.
And it looks like the 47 and the 30 almost teamed up on him in turn number 3. 37 came off of turn 2 on the high side trying to get that run, and the 47 and the 30 just blew by on the inside. And these are cars are almost the only cars that we're seeing on the racetrack rail now in a major group. So once you get stuck on the high side, everybody else forms in line. You can't stand a chance. You can't force your way down in line. You just have to try to hang in there. And he is still on the high side as now the number 5 machine, John Hanna Jr., who has dropped back to 9th place. He is looking to pick up 8th as they go 3 wide past the lap car of 84 of Jimmy North in turn 3. And that's going to force number 5 car to check up and let Ben Burnett take it back. But here comes the 5 off turn number 4. Gets to his bumper as they work through the quad oval.
The 5's already got a pretty good run off of the corner. Got back to the bumper of the 37. Falls back off, getting into the corner. See it really arcing out the corner. Tries to come down now. Has a lot of momentum coming off. He gets to the bumper of the 37. Has to check up just a little bit. He has nowhere to go. There he goes to the bottom. They shoot down the racetrack. Big jump there as he's going to move down to the inside of the 37. Clears the 37 into turn number 3 and takes over the 8th position.
And seeing that incident there with the number 48 or 84 car of Jimmy North, it's going to be interesting to see if we keep working under green flag circumstances, even for maybe the end of the race here, how these drivers get around lap cars. And if you can't speak to the driver really, you can say something over the radio, maybe your spotters can communicate, pass a message, but you really need to be communicating with those lap cars. You can't try to go in the same place as they can, because that can really mess up someone's night. So you really have to be careful as you work around lap traffic. Maybe they have damage and they're slower, or maybe their car setup just is not working out for them. So it's going to be interesting to see who can be smart and make their way around those lap cars cleanly.
Rhett McBride in the 15 car, 22nd position, is now fallen a lap down to the race leader, Chad Cole. He's also been passed by CJ LeVere and has a pretty good gap going that they've already gapped him by. So Rhett McBride, not the best day for the 15 team in that 22nd position. Next guy that will be on the lead lap, the final car on the lead lap, the 21st car, 21st place position, is Mike King, 27 seconds behind the leader.
And he's just about 2 seconds from going a lap down. And that's what happens with these long green flag runs. And back up front, I was thinking when we went back green here that the 21 and the 24 may have had something for Chad Cole, CJ LeVere, as they worked their way through the field. But on our last green flag run, they had nowhere to go because Chad Cole, CJ LeVere were 3 seconds ahead of everybody. So I was looking at these guys, seeing if they could make something work. But however, Matt Lacrosse did pass Stefan Marinac for 3rd position, but they have now dropped off 2 seconds from CJ LeVere and 3 from the leader, so we're right back where we were last time.
That we are. Looking through the field, going to go ahead and as we work lap 117 again, update you on your top 10. Cole leads the field, LeVere in 2nd. Lacrosse up to 3rd with Marinac in 4th. Arnold sitting 5th with Silver sitting 6th. Bratcher up to 7th with John Hanna Jr. sitting in the 8th position in his 5 machine. We have an update in the scoring. Looks like Silver 6th, Arnold 7th, then Hanna Jr., Ben Burnett back to 9th, and Guy Snyder the 4th in his 27 machine rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, and just as you mentioned that, Mark Bratcher went from 7th to 5th. He gained 2 positions on the 30 and the 47. Didn't quite catch what happened, but he is in front of them. And they're still in a little pack, and this field is very separated up front position-wise. You see Chad Cole, he has 1.5 second lead over CJ LeVere. Then Matt Lacrosse is 3.7 seconds off of him. 0.2 seconds off Lacrosse is Marinac. And then we have about a 5-second gap to Mark Bratcher, Nick Silver, Eric Arnold, and the rest of that group there. So it's getting really separated as we work a pretty lengthy green flag run.
At least just about 40 laps or more actually completed, I do believe, since the last caution. Last caution, I do believe, last caution lap we ran was just about lap 79, I think that is right. About lap 79 was the last caution lap we ran. We're currently working lap 121.
And there should be only one more pit stop. As you mentioned, we've gone about 40 laps, and we have just under 40 laps now. I think we have 40 or 39 laps to go. So it looks like They're going to be coming in for their final stops, and if this happens under green, it will be very interesting to see if you come in early, get those fresh tires, and then you'll have more laps on the fresh tires, but then you'll lose position, so it's going to be interesting. But there comes the caution, so there will be no green flag pit stops.
Caution flies for the 05 car. That is the 05, I do believe. Chris Cable and cameraman caught that before we did. That was Cable, 15th position. Turn number 1, as you see right before that, it's actually, if you look at the front straightaway, the front stretch there, the 84 car, it might even start with the 88, no, it starts with the 84 car of Jimmy North in 24th position, lap 119, he's again 2 laps down, comes off the corner, off of turn number 4, gets into the, I want to say it's the 82 car, it's up the racetrack, gets to the outside wall, comes down the 05, nearly collects him, but 05 might have got a little loose trying to dodge him. 84 gets the outside wall hard, and the 05 just maybe got a little loose and ended up turning the car around.
And that's how you avoid that car. And there was no contact, but I think the 05 barely caught the grass with his left side tires there in the quad oval, and that just sent him up, and he was so loose as soon as he turned that thing left in the corner. It just snapped loose, and the 2 cars by him, great job avoiding him, keeping it a 1-car wreck. He managed to save it, drive it on the apron, and get no damage to that race car.
And here we come, down pit road. Cole going to lead the way, LaVerrin second. There's the 23 Sam Edwards going to be coming down the 3rd car on pit road, but he is laps down. Cole stops in his box. Looks like he gets in cleanly, right sides go up. Looking in front of him just a little ways, LaVerrin, right sides are up and they're down. Looking at a 4-tire stop here, the left sides now go up. Edwards, right side's down as the left sides go up. Looks like Cole going to have the fastest stop there. Looks like Marinak didn't have too bad of a stop, but he'll get beat out by Matt Lacrosse.
And side by side, Jimmy North and the 38 car of Mark Bratcher, they were side by side off pit road. Not sure who won that battle. Looks like the 38's going to pull in front. That obviously has to be confirmed by race officials. But it looked like when I was watching on that, the 24 car had a little bit of an interesting entry. There was a car in the stall right in front of his, so he really had to turn it sharply left to get in, but he does manage to get out 4th, I do believe.
While we pace here at Charlotte Motor Speedway once again, with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Barbaro Racing. Going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more racing action. We are ETV Live, powered by the HG Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50-caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
We're back live at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. Here we are working through turns 3 and 4, just about to be coming off at turn number 4 to take the green flag. Pace car set to dive. Honorary pace car driver J.D. Webb going to make that sharp left-hand turn down onto pit road. And it looks like there he's just about to go. There he goes. J.D. Webb's away. There is Chad Cole. He's away. And he's going to lead the field to the green flag. Marinac kind of stumbles on the start. So does LeVere. They're going to be side by side, though. So it looks like Marinac got an alright start because he's going to be able to work the inside of the 4 car somehow. Looks like Marinac is being placed in front of Lacrosse. I thought Lacrosse beat out Marinac off pit road. Maybe not, as Lacrosse back to the 4th position. Marinac sitting in that 3rd position, looking right on the bumper of the 4. The 4 is cleared to 24, and they're back to single file.
And the 24 not being up to speed, trying to make that pass on the inside there in turn 1. He got real loose, wiggled it, and that's why he had to drop back in behind the Ford of CJ LeVere. He's now going to get up back to his bumper, and he's going to try to look to make the pass again. And Matt Lacrosse right behind him. He is currently 4th position. And Mark Bratcher, his number 38 machine, he is in 5th in the 47. Eric Arnold, he has now worked his way back up to 6th position.
Well, actually, LeVere is kind of making a little bit of time on Chad Cole right now. It's the 4 car making up some pretty good lap times here. Looking back through the field here, Bratcher up to the 5th position, like you said. He's been coming up through the field just a little bit. It'd be interesting to see what he can do here. How about John Haney Jr.? 7th position. He just went around Arnold. Arnold slipping back another spot to the 30 car of Nick Silver. Nick Silver up a spot. He's in 8th. And looking underneath the 5 if he can get there. Arnold to the outside. He was blocking the 36. 67 goes around the 36. That is 67 of Brian Harvey. 36 of Rich Jett. This is all around the 8th position.
And the 47 car got really close to the wall there on the exit of turn number 2. And he was getting past by the number 5 machine, and the trial will force him up high. And his car does not seem to be running well up high at all. All night we've seen him get trapped up there consistently, as now the 26 of Jose Gonzalez is on pit road.
And Jose Gonzalez had a lot of damage earlier on being involved in an incident. Wouldn't surprise me if the toe or anything was really hurt on that car, and it was really just unbearable to the driver. Maybe he made contact with the wall or something, had to come back down to fix that car a little bit more. Looking back, looking up at the battle with the 43 and 88, and this is about the 11th position. 88 on the outside, 43 on the inside. 43 falling back quite a bit, but he's still there. He's up the track quite a bit, though. That could be a little dangerous. He falls back, lets the car get to the bottom, picks up the throttle. He's going to come off the corner, nearly side by side, but the 88 looks like he'll clear him. Is in front of them. It is the 10 car of Josh Cheney in 11th position. He goes, he makes contact with the 47 of Eric Arnold.
And that 47 car looks like it is having a rough time on the high side. They did make significant contact. 47 managed to woe that car down, and this seems to be a race of comers and goers. Brendan Mercer, he's back up to 14th position. You see the number 43 of Doug Roth drop back earlier in the race. We haven't seen him up front since then. He's slowly chipping away. Eric Arnold gets his way up there, and then he gets trapped on the high side like he is now, and looks like the 88's going to try to work by him. So there is lots of shuffling going on in the field, except for your top 4. It is still Chad Cole, CJ LeVere, Matt Lacrosse, and Stefan Marinac, and they were all real close there for the first couple laps after we went back green, and now they are slowly starting to drop away. So these cars seem to be pretty even throughout the night, and it looks like that they are running in the order that their cars are performing. Maybe the setup's a little bit off, but these cars are very consistent, and it seems to be the same story every time, as Chad Cole opening up a 0.3-second lead on LeVere, and Matt Lacrosse about a second off the leader.
We're not seeing many of the top runners up, on the outside lane. Like, I don't think there's much of an outside lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is unfortunate. These guys really struggling to get up there. When they do, it seems like they just fall backwards, as the 88 has just nailed the wall off the turn number 4. He's in the 11th position, being passed by the 43 now, as he lost a lot of speed when he came up against that wall. 47 of Eric Arnold now looking underneath him. Brendan Mercer just behind him on the outside lane. He's given up the position to the 81 of Steven Almendo. Guy Snyder is looking back there in his 27 machine. He's looking to the outside now of Almendo, as Mercer actually clears Almendo. And the 88 of Roberts kind of backs up to the bumper of the 47.
And now the 81 on the inside of the number 27 machine of Guy Snyder, the 4th. And right with him, the 05 of Chris Cable. They're both working on the inside, trying to pass the 27, but back up. Eric Arnold almost makes more contact. The 88 down a little. That 47 car is real loose on the high side, but the 88 looks like he's going to get the advantage as they work their way down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, the 47 of Eric Arnold continuing to drop back now as the 29 of Brennan Mercer is looking to take over that 12th position from him as well.
24 to go as we cross the start finish line. Cable just got in trouble. He got the apron or something. He got really sideways. He had just been 3 wide with Almendo, and I don't know who else it was, but had just been 3 wide, was back to 2 wide. I think he just got the apron and just knocked the car sideways, barely saved that thing, as Jose Gonzalez has pulled his car onto the holler. They had just went back to the garage area, I hear, for some technical problems inside the car that had been going on and off since the earlier incident. He has now put the car on the holler. They are done for the night. But Chris Cable, a little bit of trouble, back to 18th, and now behind Steve Gottschalk in the 91 machine.
In the 81 also, Steven Almendo barely missed that 05. The 05 was getting squeezed down. Guy Snyder, they were just side by side. 05 caught the apron there, and the 81 machine barely avoided that incident. So great reaction time as now Chris Cable now back 18th position right now.
Out for 4th. Marinac has fallen back to the 3rd position, and I do believe, or actually the 4th position. And Mark Bratcher in the 38 machine is closing in on the 24th. Something might be wrong with that 24 car here. Maybe a bad set of tires, maybe a bad adjustment, but he's kind of falling back to the clutches of the 38 pretty quickly here.
And that's one thing you have to keep in mind. He's been running about 3rd and 4th for the majority of this race, the last couple restarts. He's been staying there, so when he comes down pit road, he's thinking he has to make some sort of adjustment if he wants to go for the win. But you have to keep in mind, you don't want to mess up what you have right now. And he has been slowly falling back from Matt Lacrosse in 3rd position, and Mark Bratcher looks like he's going to give him a hard time for that position. Mark Bratcher is knocking on the door for 4th.
Well, when you make an adjustment, it can go one way or it can go the other. It can make your car really, really nice, kind of like Chad Cole's, or it can make it not so nice, and he could be going backwards like he is. So 24 in trouble here, maybe looking for a caution with 20 laps remaining here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Laps are winding down here in the 160-lap race that started just about an hour and a half ago.
And what you don't want to see is a caution, and you don't want to have to come down, because the last time I came by on caution, we filled these things up for the end of the race. So if your car is to the point where you need to go down pit road and make a serious repair, then that's really going to hurt you, because the majority of the lead lap cars aren't going to go in, and even with, say, 20-lap fresher tires, you're not going to be able to make up 20 positions. As now the 38 Mark Bratcher looking to the inside as they work their way down the backstretch. He's going to pull down onto 24. 24 comes down to avoid the lap traffic, almost got into the 38. So things are starting to pick up here as the laps are winding down, about 18 laps to go.
That's Jeff Eden, who has rejoined the racing surface back out on track after being on pit road for a very long time. We don't know exactly what happened with the 33. I do think he was down there for an excessive amount of time. He's now 21 laps down. Wondering if he actually got out of the car there, and they had to do some extra work on it or something. But the 33 car finally rejoined the racing surface, and looks like he's going backwards in a hurry, so something might be broken still on that machine. Or maybe it's just really off the pace and they've just repaired it enough to go make up some points here, as he only runs 29th.
And he could have had the same issue as Jose Gonzalez, maybe an electrical issue in the car. Took a while to get that fixed, but he's obviously going to come out, try to get as many positions as possible. And up front, Chad Cole, he's about half a second, or 0.47 to be exact, of the lead over CJ LeVere, and they have once again left Matt Lacrosse, as Mark Bratcher has finally made the pass on Stefan Marinac, so the first change in the top 4 for a while that we've seen. But Chad Cole gained 0.2 of a second that lap, so CJ LeVere falling off of Chad Cole, not what you want to see as the laps are ticking down.
There's about to be another change up here in the top 5, because Nick Silver is all over the 24 of Stefan Marinac. So 30 car is up to speed as a 12 car on the apron. He looks like he's in trouble. And he's coming down the pit road, 24th position. He's coming down at a pretty high rate of speed. Looks like he might have been speeding by a good bit coming on the pit road. He comes immediately into his stall. And looks like they'll start servicing that car.
And definitely a tough break for the number 24 of Stefan Marinak. He was third position. He eventually got passed by Matt Lacrosse as we worked through green flag lights. But he was up there with the fastest guys all night. And since that last stop, he has really dropped back. He got passed by Mark Bratcher. And Nick Silver is knocking on the door all over the place, just trying to find the right moment to pass. And I think it's a matter of time before he gets around. That 24 car has gone away. Unfortunate turn of events for Stefan Marinak. He was strong so much of the race, but when it comes down to the end, that's what matters.
Yeah, just 14 laps remaining. You talked about this race, just about 110 laps, I believe, longer than what the All-Star race was. You see, Stefan Marinak might have had a pretty good car for the All-Star race, but long run, maybe not so good as the caution flies.
And this will change everything in this race. We heard the 33 of Jeff Eden come over the radio, and it looks like the incident in the back straightaway, that 33 car, we knew he was slow. He came down off turn 2, got real loose right in front of the 37 car, and he smacked the wall. 37 managed to get by, but the 28 not so lucky, plowed into the background. 33 hard into the inside wall. 40 went in the wall too, and he went spinning onto the track. So this will definitely benefit CJ LeVere because he was slowly slipping away. So now it's going to come down to whose car's better on the short run.
Here's another question. Do you pit or do you stay out? Track position or tires? That we've been out on these tires for a long while. As Jack Cole stays out, we're going to see LeVere come to pit road. This could be a race-deciding move as Lacrosse stays out, but LeVere leads Bratcher, Marinak. Snyder stays out, I'm seeing. So this is going to be interesting. A few cars on pit road, a few cars stay out. Not many cars in contention up here, though, as that looks like LeVere leads him down. He comes into his stall, and he'll stop here as the right side gets set to go up on that car.
And a well-executed fake for Chad Cole. He dived out at the last second, and I'm not sure if CJ LeVere was going to go in anyways. He was pretty far to the left, so it didn't look like he was following the 8 car, but he came down. 21, Matt Lacrosse, who was in third. Matt Lacrosse stayed out. Now we have John Hanna Jr. currently third. CJ LeVere is going to come into pit road. He's currently scored 5th. I'm sure he will lose maybe a few positions. So that'll be definitely interesting to see if you can gain those positions with, say, the 30-lap fresher tires.
And I'll tell you what, I was looking at something, trying to clarify it, and it looks like Mark Bratcher came down. A 2-tire stop. He'll be the first car off pit road, I do believe, for track position. Next car was CJ LeVere, who took 4 tires on this pit stop, and I'm hearing Hanna, John Hanna Jr., Chad Cole stayed out. And it appears to be pretty much most of the cars that stayed out here. I'm looking through the field to see how many actually stayed out here. Jimmy North is out there, but he's a few laps down. Wright McBride is out there. Joey Gattina, I believe, maybe a lap down or 2. Eric Arnold stayed out. Gross, Wyatt's out there, but laps down. Guy Snyder stayed out. John Hanna Jr. stayed out. Matt Lacrosse stays out. He's going to hold off the second position. There's a few cars out there that could be in the way of some of these lead lap cars trying to come through on tires.
I'm thinking the only position that's going to be guaranteed here on the start is Chad Cole's. You're going to have drivers with 1 with 2 tires and the rest with 4 possibly, right behind guys with old tires. And when you got to get on the gas right away, we're going to have about maybe 9-8 lap shootout possibly. You got to get on the gas right away, and if you're going to spin the tires, things could get real dicey on the restart. So drivers have to pay lots of attention. CJ LeVere, who was second off pit road, he is currently 4th. Mark Bratcher, who took the 2 tires, 7th. So they have to make up about 6 positions to even get to Chad Cole, and they're not going to have much time to do it.
Here's the thing, that you're going to watch Chad Cole could easily spin the tires, wreck the car, or, lose a lot of ground here. Lacrosse could do the same thing, take out Cole or put his car on the wall. There's a few cars up here that might not have the experience, especially on old tires, that could shake things up here. But definitely going to be an interesting little shootout here. We have just about 10 laps to go, 11 to go currently. We'll come across the line and collect 10 to go. And we're not even 1 to green yet, so it depends on when these guys get doubled up as to how many laps they have to go. Whether we get a caution or not, it's really going to determine who wins this race, I think, with those 4 tires. If Cole can get the gap that he needs, exactly what happens here.
And that's right, a good point that you brought up. Even Chad Cole, he can spin the tires too. And he does have the advantage. Matt Lacrosse, however, looked strong on a very short run, but dropped off after about 5 laps. It's going to be really close, and I was in the booth for one race I believe one car stayed out, he spun the tires in front of the field, and they all piled up. So it'll be really interesting to see how the drivers approach this, if they're going to be conservative, but I think they're just going to be full on the gas, and they're going to be hoping to gain as many positions as possible, and I think we're in store for a crazy restart here, as we're going to have about 8 or so laps to go.
Currently 10 to go, 9 to go and cross the start-finish line, and that's when the green flag will fly. We're going to see exactly what happens here. As we work off of turn number 2, they get double file. Going to run through your lineup currently. Good call, the starting lineup to the shootout here. Jack Cole going to be on the pole. He's P1 right now. Lacrosse second. John Henry Jr. up to third. Snyder fourth. Doug Rock fifth with Eric Arnold sixth. Mark Bratcher was the first car off pit road. He took 2 tires. Rich Jen came off in 8th. He might have been 2 tires as well. CJ Lavera back to 9th, and Nick Silver back to 10th. Burnett 11th, Harvey 12th. Josh Cheney subbing for John Abbott to 13th. Adam Roberts to 14th. Brendan Mercer 15th. Chris Cable 16th. Steve Almendo 17th. Steve Gottschalk 18th. Mike King 19th. And Stefan Marinak. I was wondering where he went. He's back to 20th in his 24 machine. But here we go as we work off the turn number 4, getting set for the pace car to drop off. J.D. Webb to take that sharp left-hand turn. And Chad Cole to take us to the green flag. Here we go. There's J.D. Webb. He's gone, and Chad Cole is away. He spins the tires just a little bit, changes lanes, but he's all right. I don't believe there's a rule on that anymore. Lacrosse is all right. He gets a pretty good jump. John Hinton Jr., bad restart. And here comes Guy Snyder.
He got whole kinds of sideways down the start. Went all the way up to the high side. Good thing the 21 of Matt Lacrosse was not there, or that would have caused a wreck in front of the field. But it's Chad Cole. He has opened up about a 5 or 6 car gap right now on Matt Lacrosse, working lap 152, 8 laps to go this time by the 27. Guy Snyder, the 4th, hanging in the wings.
Mark Bratcher and CJ Lavere around Doug Roth. They take over 5th and 6th. They're climbing to the field pretty quickly here as they now come up on the 5 car.
And as they work their way, it is still Chad Cole in the lead. The 21 of Matt Lacrosse is going to try to do everything he can to catch that race car. They're still pretty much dead even from where they were. Now the 8 slightly pulling away. The 21 car is going to have to pick it up if he wants to catch him. Chad Cole got 2nd position here last year, looking for redemption, and he is your leader right now.
Lavere now going underneath the 38 for the 5th position. He's going to get the spot. 30 car going to be side by side with Bratcher. Now they come off all right. They almost make contact there. And here comes Lavere looking for 4th maybe. He's onto the bumper of the 5, but nowhere to go. He looks, but he cannot get the position. Rich Jet has put the car on the hauler. He is done for the night, as looks like Bratcher falls back to the 30 of Silver. Lavere all over the bumper of that 5 car, and Guy Snyder just in front of them.
And the 4 now dives to the bottom of the 5 car. Those tires really help him in the middle of the corner there. You see he passes the 5 and he's gaining ground on the 27 of Guy Snyder. He now fakes up high, goes down low on the 27 machine. CJ Lavere down to the bottom. He's going to battle it for 3rd position. 4 tires definitely helping him, but does he have enough time to catch the leaders? Merely 5 laps to go.
He's got a bit of a gap to make up here. He has gone from 5th to 3rd in 1 lap, though, so good run for Lavere. He is 0.8 seconds back, 0.8 of a second, and he's still got to get around Lacrosse, but Lacrosse is coming back quickly as he's approaching that 21 machine. He shoots to the inside. Lacrosse looking like he's not going to really fight him for it. He might here as he's going to be side by side, but Lacrosse gives way. Lavere takes over the position. He slides up off the corner, and the position is going to the 4 car. He's up to 2nd. 4 to go as we cross the start-finish line. It is Lavere in 2nd, trying to chase down race leader Chad Cole.
And with about 4 to go, CJ Lavere has been 0.2 seconds quicker than Chad Cole the last 3 laps. He is 0.6 seconds back. That leads to about exactly 3 laps. It's going to get real close here at the end. CJ Lavere trying everything that he can to catch Chad Cole as they're coming by the stripe to take lap 158, and he is catching him. But does he have enough time?
Made up 0.3 of a second last time by, and he's coming up quickly. He's getting to the bumper of the 8 machine. The thing is, catching him is one thing. Getting around him is a whole other thing. He's really burnt up his tires here. He had a lot of laps on the tires, which is why I wasn't sure about staying out. Looks like he's hanging on, though. Lavere, though, right there. Lavere has the tires. I think Lavere might have a really good shot at this as they come across the line for lap 150. Now we have a race on our hands. Evan Pizzoco.
2 laps to go and a 0.2 second distance for CJ Lavere and Chad Cole. He's going to dive it into the corner. 1 car length, slides back to 2 car lengths. CJ LeVere can't get over his head. He can't go crazy. He needs to run his line. They're pretty much the same distance now. Chad Cole gained a bit of ground there. Let's see if CJ LeVere can make it back up in turn number 3 as they're going to cross the stripe, this time by to take the white flag.
I'll tell you what, LeVere coming off turn 2 last time, he got sideways. He got the apron, and that really did not help him. So LeVere kind of lost a little bit of time, but he's still hanging on. Next battle is going to be for 3rd position. Lacrosse on the outside. Here comes Silver to the inside. Silver gets a little loose, and he's definitely not going to make it. Meanwhile, LeVere not making up any ground to Cole. Snyder going to hold off Bratcher. It's looking like currently is Bratcher all over the bumper of that 27 machine. They almost made contact, and Burnett back behind them. Here we go, as it looks like the 8 car of Chad Cole will win at Charlotte Motor Speedway, a 160-lap race here with the Reelson Racing FullThrottle Cup Series sponsored by Barbaro Racing. LeVere comes home 2nd, Snyder 3rd. Mark
And
Bratcher
the 30
4th.
car of Nick Silver crossed the line on his roof. He made contact with the number 21 of Matt Lacrosse coming into the quad oval. 30 went head-on into the wall, went flipping through the line. He got passed by a couple of race cars. He will get sick. 21 machine got into the wall, which caused that incident. And the 38 also flipping a huge wreck. Cars smoking, spinning, blowing their engines everywhere at the finish. But Chad Cole was able to hang on to it and get the victory.
Indeed it was Chad Cole, and he is actually just about to be brought up here for post-race interviews along with CJ LeVere and Guy Snyder the 4th. I like Guy Snyder. I mean, he kind of stayed out there and just held on tight and had a fantastic run. Able to bring it home in the top 3, I do believe. That's a really good run for the 2017.
And he was 5th off turn 4, but he was 3rd at the finish line, nearly avoiding that incident, drove it through the grass, managed to hang on in a top 3 finish. Great run and great finish of the night for that number 2017.
It definitely was. But now we're going to go ahead and talk to Chad Cole, who actually won the race. Dominating performance. Chad, man, you had a really good car all night long. You were able to beat out CJ LeVere, who had the fresh tires at the end. What a night for you.
Yeah, man, CJ, he doesn't make it easy. Those cautions, late cautions, don't make it easy either. And same thing happened to me last year here at the 600. A late caution really threw a wrench in things and dominated that, and ended up, I think, 3rd or something like that. Couldn't finish the deal, but hate it for Dwayne, Ben, guys. That first wreck there, coming on a 4, took out a lot of good guys. I really would have liked to race against them.
And it was actually 2nd last year. Guy Snyder came home 3rd last year. You had a pretty good, eventful night, we'll say the least. How did you actually miss that first wreck, and what was the call behind staying out there at the end?
Yeah, I saw it happen initially. Then I went low through the grass. I think they finally corrected it. Then they wrecked again. So I was already in the grass by the time all hell broke loose.
And again, what exactly brought you to stay out there at the end to make that final call there?
Yeah, I knew a lot of guys would play the same strategy, stay out there since it's late caution. So had a couple friends out there with me. I think I had about 5 or 6 or so that stayed out there. I knew CJ was coming though. He never makes it easy.
And I gotta ask, JD Webb wanted to make sure he wants to know as well, what's up with the pink car?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I actually ran something pretty similar to this in NR 2003. I mentioned it to Hippie Wyatt, and he said, "Well, you want one for the new car, Gen 6?" I think, all right, sure, what the hell? So, yeah, it's a nice piece. I know, really sticks out on the TV. I hope.
It might, but go ahead and give you a chance to throw out any shout-outs you may have here.
Yeah, I gotta thank hippiespaintshop.com. He's the one that hooked me up with the great scheme. He's got plenty of others, great work too. I think I'm set paint scheme wise for the next 3 years, to tell you the truth. Is the Barbaro Racing Chassis as well for sponsoring the Full Throttle Monday series, and RSR too. They're great.
All right, well, thank you, Chad, and great finish tonight. Again, your winner here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Go ahead and go down now to Evan Psoko with your 2nd place finisher, who I do believe was CJ LeVere.
And indeed, down here on pit road with the number 4 of CJ Lavera. And CJ, so close there at the end. What was the strategy? Were you planning on pitting anyways, or did the 8 get you with the fake?
It was a last-minute decision. I decided, I knew in the All-Star race tires were huge, and it helped me get that win. And when we decided that I just had to go for it, I had to have tires. I knew tires would make a huge difference. I almost got them. I burnt out my right rear, and I couldn't get it to stick coming off the corner the last 2 laps, and it was just a little short. We almost had it.
And throughout the second half of the race, you were consistently second place. It seemed like Chad Cole was a little bit faster than you. But on that final stop, you were way back in 8th place. Were you confident being able to move all the way up to the front and battle?
I was a little worried. More cars stayed out than I thought would stay out, and I didn't think I would be able to get through them as cleanly, as quick as I did. I was kind of lucky on that, and coming home with a second place finish is a really good points night, and that's what we're looking for, points nights.
And that's right, you're 3rd in points, and you qualified in 5th position. You were 4th fastest in practice, so definitely had a good setup. How was the track running? And we saw that the high side didn't have much grip when it came to passing people.
No, high side wasn't very good. You had to save your tires. Strategy was get the car in high, bring it down in low, and save that right front as long as possible.
And definitely a solid points night for you. Any shout-out you want to throw out there?
I'd like to thank hippiespaintshop.com. Go check them out. They do all my paints, awesome paint jobs. And I'd also like to thank RSR, Derek Spears Designs, Bob Earl Race Seats. I'd also like to thank my new sponsor I picked up for my beer car, IHMJ, Weeble.com. It's International Halo Monster Jam. Check them out.
And definitely, that's the number 4 of CJ Lavere. A top 2 finish, definitely a good points night for the driver who's 3rd in points.
And how about Guy Snyder? 27 machine just came out of nowhere. I think he was running maybe top 20 most of the night. But who would have thought Guy Snyder would end up 3rd here after a series of events that coming across the line, coming out of turn number 4. Just the whole pit stop deal. Guy Snyder, what a race for you.
Yeah, I was forgettable most of the night, and now I get to talk to you guys, so I'm pretty excited.
What led you to stay out? Was it your teammate there on the radio, or what exactly was that?
Well, he kind of downplayed it, but I think I talked him into staying out, and he said, are you going to stay out with me? And I said I would, so I did, and it was a good move. I was thinking most people were going to stay out, and even though I ran so poorly, I had poor track position all night, I wasn't terrible. I mean, I hit the wall a couple times, but.
Now, what was the secret to staying up front there in those last few laps?
Well, I was dropping back like CJ and them. They were coming, but I kind of figured if you let the tires cool down, that you wouldn't be able to maneuver like those other guys. But I figured you'd be able to maybe hold off enough of them until their tires got hot, and then it would kind of even out. And that's what happened. And then I got a gift off of turn 4, and I was running 5th. Well, I was happy with it. I was real pleased with it. I was going to be smiling either way, but now I get to talk to you guys, which I haven't done in a while.
Glad to have you back up here. And last season you managed to finish 3rd. This season you finished 3rd. You were 5th off of turn number 4. You came across the line 3rd. What was that like for you? And what's it mean to finish 3rd in this event 2 years in a row?
Oh, it's big. I really just need some momentum. This new car, and I don't know. I just lost it. I just lost the touch. I don't know. I'm just not fast as some of these guys. And I got some wins last year, and I felt like a big name there for a while, but mostly just pit strategy last year, and I just haven't gotten the luck this year. And I mean, anytime you can finish 3rd anywhere, I think it's just coincidence that I finished 3rd here last year, but I think I did the same thing. But it's a good night.
Alright, guys, Snyder, well, here's your chance to throw out any shout-outs you may have here.
I got to thank my Team Manchild racing teammates, Chad Cole, bringing home the victory. He's the man. He carries the team most of the time, puts it on his back. His legs got to be getting pretty tired. And I got to thank Lonza, Jeff Eden for stepping in for Lonza tonight. That way he gets some points. And Glenn Campbell actually had to pull out of the race early. His back, he had some back trouble, so hope he gets better. And I got to thank Bob Earl, for giving us the prize at the end of the season that we're all shooting for, and RSR, and of course ETV for putting on a great show. I can't wait to watch it tomorrow.
All right, there was Guy Snyder, your third-place finisher here tonight, and there was your top 3 as well, but you talked about Bob Earl, and how about the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat, a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. It's what's given away at the end of the season. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable in the cockpit. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mount sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, a high-quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it at BobEarlRacing.com. Now, Evan Pasoko, we had a great night of racing, and I can't wait to come back and do it again next week.
And that's right, there were cars. We had a bunch of comers and goers in the race alone. We seen cars up front, then they dropped back, and then they were right back there at the end. It was some great racing, and your top 4 stayed pretty consistent through the night. We had a great battle to the end. They were wrecking across the start-finish line. They wanted every position so bad. Great racing.
Definitely, definitely. But from all of us here at ETV Live, I'm Nick Herman, joined by Evan Pasoko, George Wood, John Wessling, J.D. Webb. We'll go ahead and catch you guys next week.